Over 1,000 bicycle enthusiasts from all over the country will head out to the historic LBJ Ranch in Stonewall this weekend.
They'll use the ranch as a launch point for the LBJ 100 bicycle tour, spreading out over miles of Central Texas roads.
And all new at 10, our Jim Swift says this event will also include a visit from members of the Wheelmen, an international group of guardians of bicycle history and its role in our lives.
This is not the very first bicycle. The very first bicycle actually had no pedals. It looked just like this. You sat on the seat and you walked. It was a very gentlemanly thing to do.
Karen Vanover knows a lot about vintage bicycles because her father used to make replicas of them.
He made two high-wheelers, one for himself and one for my brother, and then one that my sister and I shared. But my mother decided she needed to ride too, so he made 2 or 3 replicas of a tricycle like this that my mother could ride, one of them. And then eventually he got my grandparents riding. And of course the boyfriends started riding, and then the grandchildren started riding, so it became the family thing to do.
It was into that family that a young man named Don Vanover once wandered.
I was scared to death because her dad was
Scary.
That's a good way of putting it.
But Vanover escaped his father-in-law's wrath and wound up having a couple of sons with his new wife, including this one, a fellow they named John.
There are pictures of me riding around on one of these that I hope y'all don't get a hold of.
We actually have a picture of him from the Pflugerville parade, towing his teddy bear.
But if young John is embarrassed now, he was enthralled back then.
The first thing I can remember is show and tell days, going and being like, okay, I got something finally. Finally I can do something cool.
Eventually, the Vanover moved on from their replicas and acquired actual antique bicycles, which they now ride with pride, dressed in their vintage clothing, all the while keeping a close eye out for obstacles in the road.
The front wheel hits something and you'll just go straight forward over. And, there's not really any grace to it.
Your center of gravity is right over the pedals. So you go forward and put your arms out and they break their arms. It gets really messy.
My father's philosophy was, save the bike, you're repairable, the bike's not.
Don and Karen Vanover and other members of the Wheelmen Vintage Bicycle Organization will be part of this year's LBJ 100 Bicycle Tour, educating the public and riding some of the events. After all, as their son points out,
and it's like riding a bike. Once you get it down, it's pretty easy.
In Round Rock, Jim Swift, KXAN News.
Watch out for them out there. By the way, riders in the annual LBJ 100 also get a guided tour of the Johnson Ranch House from National Park Rangers and a bicycle tour of historical landmarks on the property led by Lucy Baines Johnson, daughter of the late president and the First Lady. And you can check out all the requirements and opportunities through a link with this story on our website. Just go to the Austin headline section at KXAN.com.